What is good? This is Archangel Raphael, aka Jesus, Krishna, Muhammad, Shiva. For the known deities such as Abraham's bosom, etc., in and out the body. And this is the Astro Man. Never had nowhere to land. This is with you. This is the family man searching on my right hand. Go ahead and grab on. Let's take off together. And this is change being the only universal constant. This is Dr. Change. I never had no one to blame most to stand for what the fuck I am. So, anyways, this one's gonna be about the solar eclipse healing, specifically sexual healing that's taking place, because you don't even have to necessarily catch it today, watch it or whatever. You know, the energies are gonna hit you regardless. I did, but you don't have to. You didn't have to do this. And if you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe and like this video and hit the notification bell on all, so you can stay posted upcoming uploads. And the reason why I post the way I do is so I can push out the most quality over quantity, and eventually the quantity will catch up. But the quality is what's important. So I gotta make sure I'm handling everything else that I can to not only make this quality, but to make other things that also need to be worked on, parts of life, to be fully capable to do anything whenever I need to do it, and be the total star that I need to be, so I can help you do that. So if I can't do that perfectly, what makes you think that I'm liable to help anyone else out? The fuck? So yeah, this is a way to shine yourself. Not necessarily the platform, but you know, the type, I guess, of videos you could say that we're necessarily making. But it's gonna get expanded, of course. But as life being married to karma, as God being married to the universe, I'm here to remind you and let you know the fact that we individually and collectively make up what God is. We are not separate from God. I am God. You are God. We are God. We make up what God is. We are God united together. So essentially, this is going to have a lot to do with every part of yourself that you didn't want to look at, and you bringing that into its total unveilment. You might not want to love those parts of yourself. You might not want to see them as something as powerful as they are. But sexual trauma, spending from childhood trauma, spending from certain relationships you may have, partners you have energetically exchanged with, etc., as well as even other people's sexual energy and their traumas being pushed on you through life experiences. So it goes on and on and on. So it could really come from anywhere. The point is, why do you want to focus on that, on something like astrological events taking place, where your sexual livelihood, your survival, your root chakra is basically everything? It's everything. You're healing everything. If you can heal your root chakra, you're literally healing your mind, your heart. You're healing. That's where your sexual energy will spring from. People say it's the sacral, right above that, the umbilical cord. Sure, you were birthed from the seed into the womb, So, you got to think of it like, if you can't feel safe and secure, what makes you think that you could even express your sexual energy? So when the root chakra is handled, you're going to know how to do that. So I'm not going to tell you how to necessarily just meditate, but I'm going to tell you how to work and help your root chakra through life. And taking whatever amount of copious willpower that you can muster within yourself to take yourself further and further to the next step of your path that you have created and chosen for yourself, energetically and spiritually. So the people, places, and things, like I always do say, will align and will be there. But if you can focus and if you can really do what it is you gotta do, then it'll be all right. So, such as things as being plant-based and having a vegan or /vegetarian diet is going to incorporate total amounts of clarity where you can do greater amounts of healing work, which necessarily doesn't have to do exactly with what you think it does. It's more so like you might need certain strength, you might need certain certain amount of self-love, you might have to need certain amount of discipline and things you have been already doing that you can be confident in to take you even further. But if you don't have certain things in place that you're trying to get, it's going to be hard to even have good karma, for example, because not only is survival necessary to get where you are, but you have to survive in order to thrive, not necessarily backwards. It's a big amount of freedom you can feel if you can survive without having to get blood on your hands, without having to be a part of the animal kingdom. You can make your own kingdom. You already made your own kingdom. Now you can argue a lot of inventions have been made by certain individuals and creations on planet Earth that have nothing to do with those of a higher consciousness that decide to not have to do certain things that are barbaric and essentially demonic and sinful. But when you're under certain pretenses of godliness and you really carry out your godhood, you really pray within to the source that you can find through your life inside, you're gonna create this. You're gonna make sin go away, because you're gonna alchemicalize. You're gonna heal the trauma. You're gonna work through what it is you need to work through in order to be at the level that you need to be at to do this. When I say this, I'm talking about you being unrestricted, you being free. You can fly again, necessarily, right? So if I take all of the little parts and elements of life and know I can protect myself, I can provide for myself, and I can also do that to things that can't do that. When you have children, they can't protect themselves, they can't provide for themselves. So when you see spiritual children in lesser bodies, that doesn't mean, hey, I could just create bad karma for myself and have to push myself into a lower form of existence within the animal kingdom. where that's not going to result in anything but you being a lesser being and having bad karma on your hands, where therefore you if you don't believe in reincarnation, you're gonna, because you're gonna end up reincarnating as those experiences that you're perpetually creating. Every time you fund anything, you fund the lifestyle, you fund what you create at your home. Creating, and it could go anything to cooking to making music, or writing something, or drawing something, or inventing something technological. Creating can have anything to do with all the extremities of the universe that allow you to flow through certain patterns that you see, to have a free-flowing open pool where you can truly rest assured and thrive in. But you got to work through the patterns. You got to know that they're patterns too. So it's so much that you already have inside of you. And that doesn't mean just stay where you are. That means keep going, even to the next level. This is the right boss, you're on the right flight. You hear that airplane, if you can, go ahead and catch it with me. So and there's like a momentary intermission every time I do that in the video. So allow everything to collect in and settle, so it can be properly breathe through. And make sure you watch all the videos on my channel, because each one is original and unique and entirely different. And I'll have a purpose. So the next one's gonna be about, or not the next one, but I'm gonna do a sacral chakra one with this series going. But root chakra healing. Allow everything to come down, when you constantly feel like you always have to keep pushing further, you have to get higher, you have to feel better, you have to do this, you have to do the next thing. You're not allowing yourself to do the right thing. You're not allowing yourself to gradually make the certain presence within you to flourish. And as me carrying out God's presence, authority, purity, God's authority, purity, presence, and essence. God's will, authority, purity, presence, and essence. You already know this isn't further than what's right here. This isn't further than what you can do right now. So if you need to do the right thing right now, don't you have to allow yourself to completely be who you are, completely accept yourself, how you are, and then allow that to show itself to you so you can show it to others? So when you don't heal your sexual trauma, and you don't know how to, you don't know how to heal your root chakra, which is connected to the sacral, and we'll talk about the bridge too once I make the sacral one. We'll do the Chiron and the bridge to that, because that's where everything is too. So that's going to be really important. I can't wait to do that one. But right now, this root, this is nothing short of the energy stemming from the core of your being. That exactly means that you are that. You are the core of your being. You're connecting to the rest of your body. You're connecting the lower, I guess you could say, ethereal realm. The more so, all the elements of down, you could say, which is ethereal in nature. And then you get the organs, and then you get the more so earthly living embodiments, planets after that. But before that, it's more so you can connect there's certain planets you can connect, like Neptune, which is ethereal nature, and Uranus and Pluto. But that only has to do with this universe. So I don't want you to think that I'm necessarily talking about just this here, you know. You could be free of the astrology. You could be free of the all the different mechanisms of divination that resides in this universe. You can make your own. You can go somewhere the fuck else, and you're going to, because this is the only way you can heal your root. You can't heal your root by thinking you're doing healing work when it's not healing. You have to move forward right now. So you're gonna figure it out, you know, slowly but surely. And it's not an overnight thing that you get where you need to be, but it's an overnight thing every day. Because one overnight, 2 overnights, 3 overnights of success, you can do a 4, you can do a 5. And if you can get that far, what's stopping you? So even if you fall back, you gotta know what you're doing here, not just as a light worker, but as a shadow worker too. You're here to do work. You're here to help. You're here to encourage and empower. You're here to enlighten and fulfill. You're not here to complain. You're not here to you might express yourself, and that's what you need to do anyways. We'll get even further into self-expression in the sacral, but in root, the self-expression will express itself from the energy, and the energy needs to flow. So the energy needs to have a connection. The energy needs to have other people, which are also you. So other life forms, you know, all of nature encompassing. And when sin of Adam and Eve eating the forbidden fruit, you know, the snake tricking them, telling them they need to sin, thou shalt not kill, they killed, and they ate the forbidden fruit. They ate what the snake eats, which is death. So they became of death and no longer of life. So that's why when you get trapped in this universe, in the things of this universe that were not even necessarily created by you, but a version of you. So just remember, when like attracts like, you will witness true healing. Whatever the word healing means to you, whatever it feels like, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about whatever you think, because healing is essentially being free of anything blocking you from living your true life that you came to live. You came to live greatness. You came to live goodness. You came to live wellness. You didn't come to be anything else lesser and inferior. You would be lesser and inferior had you not been on this higher level of awareness. But when you keep going farther off the higher level of awareness, you have no idea what the fuck to do, because you can't bring it into your divine will in accordance with reality. You can't bring it into nature. You can't bring it into the material. You can't do anything of that when you're getting higher and higher. That's why it's like, you could be the light worker, but you also got to be the shadow worker. You also got to know, hey, if I don't heal my sexual trauma, like on this eclipse astrological event taking place in this universe, that can allow me to transition and go within myself and within the others just like me. You can have a marriage, you know. So you need marriage counselors. You need a whole heavenly arsenal. Shout out to the whole angelic force, all the angels descending a little to do greater works, and all the demons becoming angels, for without their talents and gifts would go to waste. And shout out to the whole flight squad, all the archangels on board. So, you know, without this work that you're here to do, that has to do with everything and anything there's no way you could call yourself and look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm truly serving my purpose, no matter how far you go, because we all need each other. We all need each other's help. We all need to make heaven on earth. We all need to be heaven. So if we can't do that, then slowly but surely the things that are not of heaven and of hell they'll just get rid of themselves. It always has happened in history. I promise this can continue to happen. They're gonna get rid of themselves. But even if we don't have to get rid of them, but even if we do have to, force comes to push, comes to shove, we have to, we're the angelic force, we got to do something about it. You know what I mean? But it'll be, the right timing, it'll be everything. But you have to do this shit. You can't say, hey, I'm just gonna heal myself, but I'm not gonna really try to live life like I'm supposed to. Make sure you're putting life in your body, first of all. So even if you fall off, even if you go back a little, even if you make mistakes, it's all right. You got to help others. You got to help your lineage. You got to help your ancestral karmic ties. You got to help whatever, because there's a reason you chose it. You wouldn't otherwise. You wouldn't be a spiritual being had you not chose something to witness and experience and go through that will be traumatic in essence, because everyone else in wicked and evil ways are experiencing the same thing. So you're not here to fight it or combat it. You're here to know it, to work through your light and your purpose and shine your gifts and your talents here through godhood and godliness, which literally has to do with your sexual energy. You have to heal that by not necessarily trying to heal it, but also connecting the dots through yourself and the opposite sex. So this is where when the demonic nature is of getting higher and higher, or of necessarily getting lower and lower. So there's no fucking truth. It's just like ego and pride essentially, but masked as spirituality. But the real shit is not even thinking of spirituality. It's not even thinking of God. It's more so recognizing the energy of it, of what it means, and going to that. You know what I mean? And bringing that in, bringing that here, bringing that in your life, bringing that in your reality, bringing that in your everything. Because it's everything. Everything has to do with everything. So, and nothing has to do with nothing. So, yeah, it's not one size the truth. You're gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? Because if you don't hear your sexual trauma, this is where, I'll for example, me, I experienced pornography addiction. I experienced me losing my life force, my semen as a man, to my imagination and almost self-gratificational pleasure that isn't, you could say it's real. A lot of spiritual people will argue that it's real. A lot of angels and archangels will argue that it's real. But I'll tell you the truth, it's not real. So, you can only conceal your pain for so long before you have to do greater works. That's why you'll see every single one of my videos, something goes even further, something even grows bigger the last time. But this time it's just something completely different, because I'm not doing the same shit that I used to do. I'm not forcing any video, I'm not forcing any message, it's gonna come out how it needs to, when it needs to, how it's supposed to, naturally and divinely. You know what I mean? I just want you to hear the energy. I don't want you to get tied to the words, because lots of different meanings and definitions and shit is attached to that. But once you really know the meaning of it, you'll know how to get the energy from it. Divine, unrestricted, you know what I mean? Flowing, but fire flows too. You can see it Just watch a campfire. Just watch a fireplace. Just watch fire. Watch a candle. It flows. It's not, no element is separate from itself. So when people say flow like water, water is not the only thing that flows. Rocks flow. All elements flow. When the fuck have you not seen Earth flow? Look at all this flow around us. look at all the flow above us in the air and shit. You see the connection between everything, right? And the ethereal, the spirits within and without, inside and out. So yeah. So this is how you hear your root chakra. I hope this helped. I can make part 2s of each, like way later down the line of each one, but this is a good start. So root chakra, I know it's different. You're watching Archangel Raphael, the one and only, the original. So yeah, we doing this. Fuck out of here, mosquito, before I kill your dumb ass. Don't suck on my blood, bitch. So yeah. Sorry. I love you. Take care of yourself. Be sure you love yourself. Be well, be more thou. And if you're a man watching this video, I'm here to lead you the right way, not the wrong way. If you're a woman watching this video, I'm here to remind you and let you know how to take the throne of God, aka my motherfucking dick. So yeah. Be well, be more thou. And that's pretty much it. I think I said everything. Sooner or later, it's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you again, and you're gonna have to become something greater. You're gonna have to evolve, and you're gonna have to do greater works. And it's not gonna feel like, yeah, the pressure creates diamonds, but then the pressure has to go away. Okay, so eventually the pressure must stop for something to, but you know, like, okay, diamonds of earth, gems of earth, but then stars of the ethers, you know. So like you can see caverns of the fucking sea. Yeah, like, it's interesting. You know, the small specks of lights of thousands of stars in the air. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I shouldn't have to explain that part. When you look in the air, you see like little glimmers and shimmerings. So that's the thing. And then yep, that's about it. And fire is just fire. So let's look at the sun. Peace, love, and enlightenment, health, wealth, and prosperity, and all that goodness.